Okay, Mexican Joe, Northeast Texas Preppers. I don't think I ever did a video on making clothes soap, so I finally, after 2.5 years, ran out of clothes soap, so we're going to make some more. This is going to make about 4 gallons of clothes soap. The last 4 gallons that I had in a 5-gallon bucket. It lasted me a little over 2 years. Now what I use is, this is based off somebody else's recipe. Zote soap. You can get the blue or the pink. They just have a little bit different scent. But when you wash your clothes, you'll smell the scent when you put it into the washing machine, but you don't smell it when it comes out. Okay, 6 to 8 bars. Now I'm doing a variety, so I can mix it up a little bit. So I'm going to use 3 bars of the pink, 3 bars of the blue, and then this Fells Naphtha is a really good soap. Now these are not body soaps; these are clothes washing soaps. So you could use these for like on a washboard if you were to use a washboard and washboard your clothes clean. These bars are about $1 a piece, so they're really cheap. Now the Zote bars are 14.1 ounces per bar, and these Fells bars are 5.5 ounces. So you get a little more fluff and a little more soap out of the Zote soaps, but the Fells actually is a better cleaning soap. Again, these are $1 as well as the Zotes. So I use the Zotes to give me a little more fluff, make my soap last a little longer. All of this is in your typical Walmart in the clothes soap aisle. This is not in the body soap aisle. This is really simple. Washing soda, okay, it's a 55-ounce box, or 3 pounds 7 ounces. Baking soda, this is a 4-pound box, or 1.81 kilograms. 20 Mule Team Borax, this is a 4-pound box. And then OxyClean, and this is a 3-pound container. All of this soap, and basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in one of my totes. After I grind up my soap, I basically just use a cheese grinder. I happen to like this one here. It's a stand-up, it's a freestanding. The other ones that are just flat in one piece, I don't like them, because when you're putting all this pressure on there with the soap, I tend to think I'm going to snap them and end up cutting myself. And with this, I can go fine or heavy. I usually just go heavy with it and call it done. So that's how I do that. Then I've got a couple of these funnels. You want a bigger funnel. I tried all of these. I actually like this. Is a canning funnel, so it's one of my favorite funnels for this. So when I go to put it in my other containers, it's real easy. It just pours in. Now what I do right off the bat, and I'm going to do this in a couple of different quick snaps. I also have some. If you can't find this, but you can find a soap making place. This is sodium bicarbonate. This is soda ash. The two of these together make washing soda. Okay, 50-50. I found those before I found out I could get it this way. This, at the same place, this was 5 pounds of borax. So I'm just going to mix it with that and throw it in there. But you can find it at soda and candle making places on its own like this. The stuff you get at Walmart, it's actually easier to find quicker. You don't have to worry about it. You can find it at 3 o'clock in the morning when you go in your Walmart clothes. Okay, so there's that. All I'm going to basically do is, I always do my soap bars first, and I'll put them in the tote, and I'll just grate them up, and I'll show you that here in a minute. Once all that's done, I just basically open all of these containers up, dump them all in, mix them up real good, make sure they're mixed, and then I throw them in my bucket. Now my bucket is a simple bucket. It was an old pickle bucket. You use 1 tablespoon per load. I usually just end up using the scoop. This is 4 gallons of laundry soap. I've got the recipes on it. I've got 2 different recipes, and that's it. So I think I stepped on it and ended up sealing it, but there we go. And all I do is I have a little container in there. So I scoop this out and I put it in my other containers. I'll show you my other containers. I like to reuse everything, so I'll show you my other containers here in just a second. Okay, these are my other 2 containers. This is nothing but an empty coffee jug. It's got a big old scoop in it. This goes in my cabinet up at the house. Okay, so I fill that up with my laundry soap, and then I use that to fill this. And this is nothing but an old mayonnaise jar that's been cleaned out. and that's just a little coffee scoop. That's all the soap I use per load. They come clean. It works fine. It works just as good as regular soap. I've got conflicting statements. I've been told that this will not jack up your HE washer. I've had people say that. I've had people who've got HE washers that say it works fine. I've got another girl that just told me that it didn't act right. So check that out on your own. If you can get a soap making class and make it, that would be awesome. And then just try a little bit in your HE washer, see what it does. Those things are a little expensive to jack up, so it may have been just different brands. So that's it. I'm going to pause this. We're going to go ahead and get all set up, and I'll show you what we're doing. This whole video probably won't be 10 minutes because I'm going to shorten it up for you. All right, here we go. Okay, this is really simple. I'm going to start off with the bigger portion of the grater here. And all I do is open up the bars of soap, hold this at an angle, grate it up. And I know the white soap's a little hard for you to see because I'm using a white tote. I'll do some of the pink too, and you'll see. Now this soap, usually this soap is very soft. This stuff's been sitting up here in my shop for a couple of years because when I started learning how to do this, I bought all the supplies for 4 or 5 different batches, and I've made some with other people. See? Now the pink flakes up quite a bit smaller, but the white is, let me mix it up here. You can see the white's very fluffy. So, but this all dissolves really well in your washing machine. So that's it. If you try to do it, let's move this off the side here. Let's do it from the other side of the grate. So if you wanted to go really small, see, now that comes out like powder. It's like a heavy powder. See, the white's a little softer. Let's see what it looks like when it comes out. See, the white comes out. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Go this way here. There we go. So you can see this white is really small, but this stuff here you can see is quite chunky. So that's it. I'm just going to get to grading away here, and we'll go from there. So here in a little bit you'll see all this all graded up, and then we'll just dump everything in, mix it up, show what it looks like, and we'll put it in the containers. That's it. Okay, we'll see you here in a minute. Okay, I wanted to show you something here. Let me tilt this back just a little bit. There's a little bar of soap back there. Okay, you can see that the pink and the white, because they are so much larger bars, they will give you more fluff and more soap. Now that's 1 bar each. Okay, and this isn't a typical LEM meat tote. Now the Zote soap, it's a lot more, it's a lot harder. It doesn't fluff up quite as much, but also it's a smaller bar. So you only need about half as much out of it. Now, when you get close to the end, you want to slow down when you're going across your grater here, and just put it in the palm of your hand. Just go nice and slow. You can see I'm not cutting my hand, but if I put force on it, I would. Now, at the end of each bar, you're going to end up with these little chunks. Now, I typically will just leave them in there. Just grate them down as far as I can, and if you end up with a little chunk like that, you're going to be fine with whatever color it is. Doesn't matter. This stuff's very soluble when it gets in the water. Now, if you end up with a small piece that's about the size of what you always end up with for hand soap, if you wanted to, you could just take that and set it aside in your laundry room, and then when you get a stain, you just do what the soap was made for and just rub it on the stain, and that's it. And you can use these little bits and pieces for that. Again, typically they'd be a little bigger if they're that small. I just leave them in there. So that's it. That's only 1 bar each. I've got 2 more pinks, 2 more whites, and 1 more yellow to go. This will be kind of a smaller load because usually I use 8 bars of all the Zote. So you can see I'm going to get just a little bit less total volume out of this. Okay, so I'm going to keep going, and we'll see what it looks like towards the end. Okay, so here we go. I've got 2 bars of the Fells Naphtha. Now you can see here it's got 2 different consistencies. One of the bars was a little older, so it tended to powder up more, where the other one flaked. Okay, the white Zote typically just came out like cheese the whole time. Okay, now the pink Zote over here, it started coming out later on like cheese, but the early stuff was a powder. Okay, and that's just due to the age of the bar. The bar dried up. Okay, so I was going to do it with my existing chemicals that makes my washing soda, but I decided against it. What I want to do is I want to show you all what we got here. This is just Arm & Hammer All Super Washing Soda. It's 55 ounces or 3 pounds 7 ounces. Okay? And all you do is just, this is Kiss. This is Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. Okay, and all I'm going to do is just dump the whole thing in there. This one's clumped up, it's a little old. Now something else I typically do is I will keep a screwdriver, an older screwdriver or something around in my bucket with my soap, so that when this does start to clump up, because this will clump up in your bucket some, if you got any moisture in there, I have to break it up. But that doesn't have to happen too often. Again, this pretty much 4 gallons is what we're going to end up with. I'm going to weigh it when we're totally done, but it lasts you a couple of years. So if you got to come down every now and then when you're getting some and break it up and mix it, that's not really a big deal. Okay, there's a washing soda. This is just typical pure baking soda. Okay, it's 4 pounds. Now what I like to do is, if you're going to buy baking soda, that's great. There's 2 different versions of baking soda. If you find the one that's got drug facts on it and what it's got in it and what you can do with it, there's the kinds you can use for cooking and eating. See, here's nutritional facts. If it doesn't have nutritional facts on it, you can't eat it. Okay, there's 2 different types. One of them is food grade. Okay, so that's 1 box, 4 pounds. Already done the washing soda. 20 Mule Team Borax. Now, I use this in whites and in colors. It doesn't really matter. I've never had anything fade or have any kind of reaction to it. If you've got some expensive clothes or something, you might want to test it on something first. Okay, just dump it in there. Okay, that is 4 pounds of 20 Mule Team Borax. Again, all of this is in the Walmart clothes aisle. Okay, OxyClean. There's going to be a coupon in here too, and a scoop. If you wanted to scoop, there's the scoop. Come on. And I saw the coupon. Where'd it go? There it is. There's my coupon for the next set. Set that off to the side. Now this scoop that comes with this, that is too much soap for this, for what you're doing. This stuff is pretty concentrated. See, and that's clotted up a little bit. Okay, so don't use that scoop. Just use the small one that I showed you. And I'm going to save that container for something else later on. Now all you do is get in here. It's just like powder. Break it up. Break up all your clumps. Now the reason I like to do the soap first, the bar soap first, is because once you start mixing it, this stuff will want to clump up a little bit, and if your tote is wet at all, it'll start sticking to the bottom and get kind of muddy. So all I'm gonna do is just get in here and just break up these clumps from some of the stuff that was clumpy. And then all you do is just start rolling. Spin this around. Just get it all mixed in real good. Get as many of the clumps out as you can. Otherwise you're going to get a good dose of one thing over the other when you're doing your laundry. You want it blended really well. But that's it. You just blend it all up. And then when you put them in your mayonnaise jars or whatever you use for mixing, you might want to shake that before you go stirring and stuff. So you can't see the white as much. Now you get some of the Zode in there, or the Fells Naphtha, the yellow stuff. And that's it. Now this probably total is going to take me a half an hour. Your first shot at it probably take you half an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. The bars, if they're not soft bars, if they're older bars, it's a little bit of wear on your arm. It's gonna take a little getting used to. It is a pretty good workout. Since I'm not married, I've got to do the man stuff and the woman stuff, and this doesn't bother me a bit, because you just got to sit back and think about how much clothes soap do you buy in a year. And all of this stuff, I priced it out, and it goes right at about $28 by the time you're done buying it all. So when I got into it, I bought enough to do 3 or 4 batches of this. So that's it. Stir it all up, get it all blended really well, and then when I put it in my 5-gallon bucket, I'll put the lid on real good and I'll roll it around, and that'll all get done. Now the Zote soap has a very strong smell. It smells like really good soap. Now I washed my hands because it was kind of gummy on my hands a little bit, but when you wash your hands before you're doing all this blending, make sure you get your hands really dry or it's going to mud up on your hands. And because usually, last time I did just the pink Zote so I could see the soap and see the differences, see how blended it was. This time I mixed it, so it's looking more like regular soap with pink flakes in it, a little bit of yellow. So that's it. Okay, I think we're looking good. When I pour it in the bucket, if it looks like I still got some clumps or it's not blended well, I'll mix it up some more, and we'll go ahead and weigh it here, and we'll see what it comes out to. All right, hang on a minute. All right, there we go. This is a 5-gallon bucket. This is a pretty good sized bucket. It's only about half full. Again, last time I used the more of the Zote soap, so it was a lot fluffier. I weighed it. I zeroed my scale before I weighed it, and I zeroed it with the bucket on it, and I got a 0. So we're good there. This is 20 pounds of soap. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to put it in my mayonnaise jar and my coffee jug, and we'll go from there. But that's it. And I'll make sure I've got the recipe on there when we finish this up. All right. Well, there you go. Thanks for tuning in, and please, if you've got your own recipe or another way that you do this, just reply, and if you've got a video on it, post a link to this page on this video so other people can see different ways you do it. Alrighty, thank you much, and we'll see you again.